Shalom, Yasharallah. First and foremost, I want to say all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth. Teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity to you Israelite foreigners. Come back home to the truth. To those that passed on serving the Lord, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. To you sisters who believe, keep encouraging and supporting your brothers out here teaching its truth, and always commemorate the sister who washed Yahweh Shai feet when you read the scriptures. All right. I hate doing this, but I clearly, you know, we're not getting anywhere with the videos, with the conversations on YouTube. So I'm going to say this. This fella, Church of Sparta, I call them a payaso, meaning a clown. You know, the other brother called him a payasa, like a female clown. But, you know, fuck all the name calling and all that shit. The truth of the matter is, the behavior of a man who would rather go on YouTube to air out his differences than speak to a brother, get an understand. The scriptures say understand first, then rebuke. You didn't do no research. All you did was remember about the vest, and then he went, you know, and talked about Elder Atazom like he knows him, you know, and then goes on my page and leaves a long ass Spanish comment, basically rebuking me about not teaching in Spanish. Sir, my Spanish is not that good, you know, which is funny because I do half my job in Spanish. I work in construction with a lot of Issacharites and some Zebulonites, and I have to speak to them in Spanish. The problem is the vernacular is totally different. So what do I mean by that? I can tell these guys how to do fences. Hey, go over the, you know, make it straight at the top, or follow the grade of the ground. I could tell them how to do all that shit in Spanish. I could talk to my parents because all the Spanish that I speak with them is very basic. When I was at the call center, when I used to work in Cablevision and I worked in Spanish, in the Spanish department, I can explain cable in Spanish. The problem is when you go to scripture and explain the Bible to people, there are words that I just don't know. But anyway, this video is not about me. This video is about Church of Sparta, because he keeps popping up. He doubled down on my comment board in Spanish. It's almost like he doesn't want other brothers to understand what he's saying or whatever. I don't know. You know, but he keeps starting shit, basically. He's a shit. Clearly I see what the problem is. He likes to start shit. You know, especially, you know damn well that you're probably halfway across the country. Sorry, I just woke up. But you know, we rebuked you. We didn't just curse you out. You're sitting here calling people stupid and talking shit and worried about a rebuke video about a man who left gracefully. Like, I could see if Chief Gabar left talking shit, disrespecting, but no, he did exactly the right way. So what's the rebuke necessary for? I have no evidence of him doing anything evil. So why would I have to rebuke him or do a video? I speak to him personally, maybe every few months. I could speak to him more often, but, you know, it doesn't work out that way, you know. But nonetheless, I'm going to say this about that brother. I learned so much from him, you know, believe it or not, that, you know, I'm actually more grateful than anything else to have had a friend and a brother like that in the truth. And even though he's not part of my camp, you know, because that's what it is. He's not part of this camp no more. Doesn't mean he don't believe no more. Doesn't mean he's out there eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You know, y'all niggas are just throwing people names around to stir up beefs and problems. And that's just not a man of the Lord. A man of the Lord would have, if anything, if you're so concerned about the brother, you would have reached out to one of us and said, hey, are any of you still in communication with him? Can I speak to him? You know, and then I would have texted him, and he probably would have said no, or he may have said yes. And, you know, y'all would have had your own conversation. But no, you want to go and talk shit and go on YouTube. Oh, why are you not doing a rebuke video? And you're immature. 7 years in this truth, and you're still worried about that. We're this close to the end, and you're sitting here still talking about other men. So we've rebuked you. And here's a scripture I want to pull on what your response to the rebuke was. It says, he is in the way of life that keepeth instruction. So you are bettering your life by keeping instruction, right? We gave you instruction. We said, yo, this is not good behavior. Don't worry about rebuke videos about men that stepped away gracefully. It's not our job to expose and rebuke men. He stepped off. He has his fucking right. It says, but he that refuseth reproof erreth. You're refusing reproof. You went on my page, left a big fucking book of a comment in Spanish. Instead of saying, hermano, yo hice un error, brother, I made a mistake. Instead of saying, hermano, yo veo que yo hice mal, brother, I see that I did the wrong thing. See how basic my Spanish is. There's probably better words that I could use for that. But instead of doing that, you double down and say, first you say, I worked it out with Elder Atazuan, but then you're doubling down and saying, you're calling me a clown for doing my job. You're not doing your job. Your job is to speak about prophecy, edify the sheep, not to talk about Chief Gabar. If you want to edify him or rebuke him, you rebuke him in person like a man. What does the scripture tell you? If you feel that that's some type of wrong he did to you, then what is Matthew? You niggas never seem to understand the scriptures. Oh, and he tried to quote this one on me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck. But what about when you insulted Itazuan? And that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. So you can quote that scripture when I call you a clown, but you can't quote that scripture, because what if Itazuan is another little one? You don't think of that? You know, so, but reading on, Matthew 18 and 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, which he has not done to anybody, because we've worked out our differences with him, you know, but after working out the differences, he found that he would be better off pushing the word with either his nephews or by himself. Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. Where the fuck do you see YouTube in that? You go talk to him alone. It says, if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. See, that y'all niggas are not brotherly because you're not going around about the right protocol. It says, go and tell him his fault, what he did wrong between you and him. But no, you want to jump on YouTube. So publicly you want to disrespect, publicly you will be disrespected. So you're not one of those little, you might be one of those little ones that believe in the Lord, but you jumped out insulting. So how the fuck are you going to sit here and say I'm wrong for insulting you when you insulted Elder Atazuan? Elder Atazuan is my brother. Like, I love that brother like my brother. Like if he was my biological brother. I don't have a biological brother. You're insulting somebody who I have a great deal of respect for. And you sitting here talking about me insulting you? You lucky I didn't call you more than a fucking clown. Because I'll crash out behind my brothers. I don't know who the fuck you think you are. We brothers here. You insult any of them. The brothers from South Carolina, Vegas, New York, Baltimore, Jersey. You got to deal with me if you insult any of them. Any of them. It says, but if he will not hear thee, okay, so Gabar may not like what you have to say. Then take with thee one or two more. that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. Did you do that? No. It says, and if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. Now, is the church YouTube? The church is not YouTube. You know what's YouTube? The entire world. Everybody and anybody can see your videos talking shit about a man. At no point does it say go to YouTube if a man insults you or disrespects you or trespass against you. It never says go to YouTube to resolve that difference. Now, again, we're addressing you on YouTube because you addressed us on YouTube. That's the only reason why this is on YouTube. I would rather call you or you call me and we work it out as men, but you don't have it. You want views. You want controversy. So now you got it, nigga. Now you got it, payaso. You want to act like a damn, you know what? I'm not going to further insult you. I'm just going to call you that. I'm not taking it any further. I'm very highly upset because you first thing I see in the morning is your fucking comment. And it's like almost as if you're trying purposely to make it hard for me to read because you know damn well, you may not know, my Spanish isn't that good as you seem to think. Leave a whole big ass comment on my page. And by the way, I'm not an Ephraimite, sir. Yo ya me disculpé con el hermano. So you basically worked it out with Itazum. That's what I get from that comment. Y solo porque hice un video para el espíritu para ganar al hermano Gabar. You didn't do a video to gain Gabar. What you did was insult Itazum, and then you're sitting here accusing Gabar falsely. You don't know anything about Gabar. Why don't you ask before you sit here and talk? De regreso, so significa que soy un payaso. Yes, you are a clown because you're running to YouTube instead of trying to speak to somebody in person or over the phone at least. 101. Where's that? ¿Dónde está eso en tu comment? See why I don't teach in Spanish? No voy a permitir que me insultes así. You're not going to allow that I insult you. That well, what are you going to do to stop it, sir? Make videos, talk shit about me? You know, I've had a lot of videos made about me. People talking shit about that. I don't fear that shit. Yo también lucho por la fe. Yeah, you fight, you contend for the faith. That's cool. Como todo hermano sincero en el campo de batalla. Llamarme payaso por hacer mi trabajo como hombre del Señor es una ofensa. Y sabes exactamente lo que dijo Yahushua sobre ofender a los pequeños. Oh, so now you're a little one. See, that's why I said he quoted that scripture like he didn't insult Elder Atazwan first. That's crazy. Like, what was I supposed to do? Atazwan's the leader, but I'm the elder. I'm the elder. I have to rebuke niggas like you that are coming at my brother. You know, like that shit wouldn't have made no sense. What do you think? I'm gonna sit by idly and let you insult him? And you're not gonna get an insult back? You out of your motherfucking mind. Además, tienes el talento para hacer videos en español y no has hecho nada. I haven't done nothing. I don't make no videos. I make videos. I just don't make them in Spanish because clearly my Spanish isn't that good. I'm going to get stumped on a word and it's going to sound worse than if I would have just been speaking in English to begin with. I'm going to try again for the Lord, number one, but also, you know, maybe something positive can come out of this. I'm not going to sit here and just knock you. Maybe you are a genuine brother, or maybe you could become maybe you have it in you to be a genuine brother. I was like you too at one point. I was quick to jump on people. You know, I used to rap. I used to make diss songs dissing niggas. So I was like you too. So I'm not sitting here just completely knocking you like you're a piece of shit. Lord willing, you're a sincere man, Church of Sparta. But right now you're acting like a payaso. Nadie te va a tomar en serio. He probably meant te. Nobody's going to take you serious. So, ¿quién va a ser el payaso al fin del día? So, who's going to be the clown at the end of the day? Eso te lo voy a dejar a ti. He's going to leave it to me. See, he's doubling down on the fact that I don't speak Spanish in my videos. It's because I'm not that good. Ponte las pilas también, compa. You know, I responded to him in Spanish. But anyway, I don't want to belabor the point. Y'all know me, I don't like these long videos. In closing, I want to tell Church of Sparta, listen, if you are genuine, if there's some type of genuineness to you that we just have to chip at so that you can do the right thing, you know, I'm all for it. But if you're going to continue to be a payaso, if you're going to continue to be a clown and insult brothers and throw men's name in your mouth, you know, whether you're doing it for views or whether you're doing it because you're genuine. If you're doing it because you're genuine, you're still doing it the wrong fucking way. If you're doing it because you're genuine, change the way you're doing it. But anyway, with that, I don't know if you see the truck that's turning right here. It's time to work. Shalom.